Hey, what's up? What's good, wonderful people? It's I, Chauncey Craig Woodson. Welcome to the newest and latest edition of Chauncey Vision. This is the place where I'm talking about all the movie and TV-ish, action, comedy, sci-fi, horror, you name it, I'm going to proclaim it. So right now, we're just going to talk a whole bunch of stuff because it's been a good while since we did a little bit of this type of thing here. So just want to get it in with you all. I've been doing a little ripping and running on day job side, and that's part of the reason why I haven't been doing as much frequent content, but I appreciate any and all who still rock with me on this. This is something I've always wanted to do, and I truly appreciate the love and support. Got to give a few major shout outs, by the way, too. Shout out to the homie, the bro, Corey Green. He's been rocking with me the past couple of times on the show. Shout out to my other bro, Dan Weeks. I know you and me still got set up a one-on-one in the near future. I know we're supposed to do that, but due to a couple family events that wasn't happening, but I understand. So we still got that on deck, no doubt. Definitely shout out to my homie, Mr. Jay Washington. I'm so excited and happy for that man. He landed a nice little role in the upcoming Showtime series, American Gigolo. That means he's going to be sharing some screen time with Mr. Punisher himself, John Barenthal. So definitely shout out and salute to that brother right there for landing that. Again, once, excuse me, I'm kind of going off here, but I'm very grateful that that man has made it because he works hard for what he does, whether it's big screen, small screen, stand-up, comedy, indie pro wrestling, the man does the damn thing. So he definitely is getting his due diligence by landing his latest role. And of course, you know, the hustle don't never stop when it comes to that. Oh, I got a surprise guest up in here and spoke somebody up, and here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this man right here, this is my bro, 100 grand. We've been rocking for 20 plus years. You didn't see him here once before. We talked about all the power stuff and the BMF stuff. He joined me here tonight, and we're going to talk all that good business. Ladies and gentlemen, bro, my homie, Mr. Dan Weeks, what's happening, man?
What's going on, bro?
Oh, nothing much, man. Nothing much, man. Man, I just want to sit up here, chop up on some of these things that, you know, you and myself and others been watching as of late. Just, you know, seeing how everything has been going with that. One of the things we might as well chop it up on, because, you know, this is part of the reason why you and I are best friends for quite some time. I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
So the latest joint that we had come out through the Star Wars universe via Disney Plus was Obi Wan.
Loved it.
Yeah. Obi Wan is definitely a, you know, better fix than what we got from Book of Boba Fett. Because, you know, when Book of Boba Fett came out, I wanted to rock with it. I mean, I rocked with it through the end, but it was like, I hate they had to take Mando to kind of like help pick it back up, you know what I mean? And I like Mandalorian. Yeah. We both love Mandalorian, but it's it's just like I don't think we get the Boba Fett that we deserve. You know what I mean?
Well, one of the things with Boba Fett is it was like, well, one thing I can say is that they're picking up where the other Star Wars movies left off.
Right.
The only thing I didn't understand is Boba Fett was in this thing for 30 years and he finally decided to get out.
Exactly. It's like, come on, man.
Hold on. First of all, how you ain't dead?
Right. It's like, as you know, spoiler for anybody who didn't see Boba Fett yet, but you should have. Shame on you.
Yeah,
this man was in the daggone Sarlacc pit, and he up in there with like dead stormtroopers and stuff.
30 years.
Yeah. And he like getting off on a little inhaler and everything like that. I was like, alrighty then.
Bro, okay. But yeah. I mean, Boba Fett wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It was just, you know.
It had its slow moments.
Right.
It had its slow moments. And it's sad to say, but I kind of figured they was going to bring in the Mandalorian in there because they're the same thing.
Right.
So I was kind of like, all right, at some point we're going to see the dude. Yeah. And then they picked it up, you know, they picked it up so they both, you know, do what they do. I personally didn't think Boba Fett was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, you know, it had slow parts.
Right. It could have been a little more action packed.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit more action, but at the same time, it's kind of like this is like a startup thing for Boba Fett, because the only thing we knew Boba Fett is a bounty hunter.
Right.
He was in Empire Strike Back, and then he was again in Return of the Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
and in the prequels, he's the stormtroopers.
Right.
So it's not much about Boba Fett that we know about that most people don't know about. Now, if you read the comic books and stuff like that, and the novels, you realize Boba Fett was badass. But
of course.
But if you haven't read any of that stuff, you wouldn't know. So I mean, I kind of see where they're going with it. To kind of introduce people with it.
Mm-hmm.
It did have its slow times, but it was all right for what it was.
Right. Now, kind of going towards what we got in terms of Obi-Wan, this takes place like 10 years after the prequels.
And then, after Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
Yeah. And then basically how we run up on Obi Wan Kenobi, he's like laying in the cut. He's doing like, blue man collar work or whatever, man.
He's working like in some type of meat factory.
Right. He's working a little meat factory, bringing something for his little pet that he got or whatever.
Right.
And he's just like
every day.
extra low in the cut and everything. He's like, okay, I can't deal with this Jedi stuff no more. I got to go. You know what I mean?
I can understand where he came from. That's traumatized into.
Yeah.
You trained this kid since he was a kid,
mm-hmm.
and then you figure out that he one of the worst damn Siths ever.
Oh yeah.
Like, bro, you were supposed to bring balance to the Force, and you screwed it up.
Basically, you listen to somebody else, you fell in love, and you let that cloud all your judgment. And
right. I mean, and don't get me wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? He did that because he wanted to save his girl. I get it.
Right. And I get that too.
Totally understand it. But at the same time, your Padawan ended up becoming Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I'll be done with Jedi stuff too if that shit happened to me. Hold on, bro. I wouldn't want nobody to find out. Hold on, bro. Look, I don't want nobody to find out that I trained Darth Vader, that this man is the reason why. I'm the reason why this man is what he is.
Right, exactly.
I know. Let me not be a Jedi for about 10 years. And I'm going to go back and rethink my life. I'm going to go work in this meat factory and bring my little pet some meat every day so he can make sure he stay alive.
Right.
The thing that I do like about Obi-Wan is the fact that they picked it up 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Exactly.
So it was kind of like, okay, well, we know what happened. We cut my man's limbs off. He became Darth Vader. At this point, Darth is obsessed with finding him.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I need to find him.
Right.
So, in that case, I get it. The only thing that I didn't like is the hate that Moses Ingram got.
Yeah.
I think she did a real good job as the Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to understand why she had so much hate. She really, I think she played the role really good.
I did too. And we'll get into that a little further down as to the how and why and all other things. But kind of going back, focus on the show. In this rendition, we get a few new introductions. We get the introduction to the Grand Inquisitors that we've heard so much about in the novels and other side stories and things like that. We get introduced to introduction all them, which we just got through talking about. Moses Ingram, the third sister. We got the Grand Inquisitor himself. We got what was that? Second brother, I think he was.
Yeah, I think he was called Second Brother.
Yeah. So it was
which is dude from Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Han from Fast and Furious, and all looking like a snake or some type of Mortal Kombat type thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, "That's
right." So that's what was wild. And then another cool thing, not to too much jump around. We got other nice little appearances too. I want to pronounce this actress's name. I believe it's Indira Varma. She's a British actress, but she's Indian, and she was in the Game of Thrones series. She was part of the Sand family.
Okay.
The Sand sisters and stuff like that. She was the mom, basically. And
She was the
appears.
one. She was the one that was the Imperial traitor.
Yeah. The supposed Imperial traitor, but she was like a spy or whatever like that. And we get a appearance from O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube Jr. He pop up in this piece. When I first saw I was like, "You up in here?" I was like, and we see what kind of role he played. I was like, "Okay, I see where we're going with that." And then we get Keneal Nanjiani, aka Stuber, aka forgot his daggone name on Eternals, but yeah. He pops up in here too, always providing some nice little comic relief.
Faking a Jedi.
Right. Fake Jedi, basically. Yeah. So it was wild, man. It was something else. And the thing I dug about this, the action was there, of course. And I mean, it's on point. I think the most wonderful thing in regards to the action, just the lightsaber fights. And I mean, all the times we've watched Star Wars, whether individually, collectively, or whatever, we talk about these lightsaber battles. This show is hands down to me has had the best lightsaber fights I've seen in a minute.
Yep.
Especially the second last or last episode. I was like, bar none.
The last episode is what did it for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those. Hey, look, dude. Look, I don't want to fight you again.
Right.
I already got a lot of hurt. It's the fact that you turned out the way you did.
Exactly.
But at the same time, if this is what you want, I guess it's what you're gonna get.
Right. Because the first go around, he almost made Obi Wan look like him.
Yeah, the first go around, he made Obi Wan look, but then you gotta look at it. Obi Wan had not been polishing his skills. This was a
right, exactly.
He wasn't. It was more of a. Okay, you know what? I'm not really into this. Like first of all, I didn't know you was alive.
Right.
The fact that you alive and then you this dude, come on, man. I ain't really trying to fight you because in my mind, you're not Darth Vader. You still Anakin to me.
Exactly.
So in his mind, I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to necessarily fight you. I taught you.
Mm-hmm.
But when he got to that, hey man, look, you didn't kill Anakin. I did. He was like, okay, well, since you put it like that, you Darth Vader now.
Yeah, he was almost filet mignon in a minute. If old girl hadn't jumped in and got a shooting or whatever like that, I was like, because when he was dragging him through it, I was like, he really trying to kill Obi-Wan.
Now, let's talk about Darth Vader for a minute. We all know.
Yes.
We all know the dude is not the one you want to piss off.
Oh no,
he is not the dude that you want to get on his bad side.
Mm-mm.
I mean, let's look at Darth Vader's track record. In the second in Empire Strikes Back, he choked a man out via satellite. I mean,
yes, just like. I'm sorry, what you were saying again? What?
He choked the man via satellite. I mean, Come on, bro. Like that is not a dude you want to get mad. But when he first got to Obi-Wan and he started, and he realized, he told him, he's like, man, your powers are weak. Like, you're not you.
Right.
This is gonna make it easier for me to do what I got to do.
Oh yeah.
And when he started dragging him through the fire, I said, shit, I think it's over now.
Mm-hmm.
But if she had not stopped, if she had not shot at Darth Vader, Obi-Wan would have been it.
Oh yeah, definitely would have been it. And then, like, what's crazy is, like, even before we got this show, you know how we got Rogue One?
Yeah.
And even his presence in Rogue One was just intimidating as hell. And then, of course, the iconic scene towards the end when he went through the Rebel shuttle. Man.
Darth Vader was in Rogue One for a total of, 5 minutes?
Right, 5-10 minutes tops.
At the end of Rogue One, and they sitting there with their blasters waiting for somebody to come through the door, and you heard him breathing, and then you heard the lightsaber come out, and then he started going through everybody. No, homie, it's time to go.
Right. And what was crazy about it, everybody was comparing it to like something out of a horror movie, which it kind of was, because it was like Mars was screaming, banging on the door, like, I gotta go. Like, no, you're gone,
Look.
son. You're over.
Look, he came through the door. You heard the breathing. You saw the lightsaber. The first dude went flying. Hold on. This ain't what I signed up for.
Exactly.
This, this ain't what I signed up for. No one told me this dude was going to be through the door. No one told me him. I'm gone.
Right.
When my man was banging on the door like, let me out, I felt that.
I did also. I was like, oh no, this is, they making Darth Vader scary again. That's what's up.
I mean, but to me, he should always have been scary. I mean,
exactly.
Hell,
He should have been.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. As a kid, when you're looking at Darth Vader, and he's basically, you thinking he's basically a robot.
Right.
And, you know, when you see him using his force powers like he did in the first Star Wars, when he choked my man with his finger and was telling him, you know, I find your lack of faith disturbing, and he's choking dude. And, that's not something, at that point, that's one of those, okay, let me make sure I'm cool with him, because I don't want to necessarily go through that.
Right. He was like physically opposing more than anything. But then, like, thanks to this show, and then, like we said, Rogue One, he's way more intimidating, or he should be intimidating than he should have been.
Bro, look,
basically,
Darth Vader was already intimidating to begin with. You got this big dude, you got an all black. That breathe, the breath is what gets you when you hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you hear that, it's kind of like oh hell, what's going to go on here?
Exactly.
And then when you see what he does, like, because he's got mechanical parts, he's not going to be the saber-wielding Sith that you think he would be.
Right.
He really relies on his force powers.
Exactly.
And because he relies on those force powers, they're pretty damn strong.
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, what's crazy about it is, like, he does, like, his is more like levitating based, because, you know, like somebody like, say, Palpatine, he has the force lightning and everything like that.
Yeah.
So that's what makes his stuff just like, okay, yeah, he can move stuff, but the fact that he can move stuff, and we saw what he could do with a daggone spaceship.
When I first saw that part, I literally was like, what the hell?
Right.
Like, he came, first of all, when he was walking through, and just the way he was walking, you already knew he was on something.
Mm-hmm.
When he got to that little landing strip, and the ship took off, and he reached out his hand and stopped it, I was like, come on, man. Like, at this point, you need to make a show on what Vader was doing.
Right.
To see how this man was. We need to see, like, a little bit more of him at this point.
And I would agree with that. I think we got another special guest popping up. Yep, we got another special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, my other bestie up in this piece, Mr. Corey Green. So, got two besties up in this piece.
Okay, Mr.
Okay. Now, hold on now. I'm not going to get ignorant on the show
yet. Not yet.
This is what's your show. We're gonna be respectful.
It's all right. He ain't got me banned yet, Corey. It's all right. So
see, I'm doing good.
Keyword.
Hey, I'm doing good. As long as Woodson is still on, that means I ain't done nothing wrong. So we
right,
all right.
Exactly. He only been on one time with me, so he good. He good.
You know, one time is all I need. One time is all I need. I'm just saying. So, you know.
But no, anyhow, like, in terms of, since you just joined us, Corey, we just briefly talked about Obi Wan, what we thought about the season, and so forth. What's your overall initial thoughts about the show?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't understand certain sector of Star Wars fans and people. I maybe, again, take what I have to say with a grain of salt. I'm pretty casual fan of the franchise.
Right.
I mostly watch the movies and some of the shows and a few animated ones here and there. I don't I'm not knee deep in the lore and know every nook and cranny of it, and read 40 years of Star Wars history. So I tell people to take what I say with a grain of salt. But for the most part, I really enjoyed the show and looking forward to more they do in the future to really keep up the quality. I don't want the same problems like in Boba Fett. And I really think they need to take their time with their shows and have a clear direction where they want to go with the shows and or any future film endeavors or anything. But for the most part, Obi Wan I enjoyed a lot. That's pretty much what I wanted and looking for the past 6-7 years or so. I wanted an Obi Wan show or movie. So I got it.
I got you. And one more thing that we failed to mention in regards to this, we got our first glimpse of a very young Princess Leia. So what was your all's thoughts of her inclusion in the show? Was she worth it? Was she too distracting? What?
Well, she wasn't distracting. I think at some point they was going to have to mention Leia or Luke or something in there just because it's Star Wars. But nah, I don't. She was more of a brat to me.
Right.
I had the same inkling with her in the beginning, and that kind of changed over time. But I guess they want to show how, brave and free-spirited she was from day one. So it kind of makes it believable that this is a very young, very Leia as a child is what she was like. So, yeah. Because she was kind of even bratty in the first Star Wars movie. So
she was real bratty in the first.
Yeah, I'm really shocked that she was going to be like a central part of the story, more than the main focus in this show in the first place. But I was fine with it.
I get you. See, do you think it's warranted for a season 2, or do you think this one season is enough?
I'm cool with one. I don't need a second season for this. If they do it, it gotta be the right story and a good one. I kind of think this show, I think I needed to know, or I wanted to know what Obi Wan was doing between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. I'm kind of content with it. I can't speak for anyone else.
Yeah. I don't think they should do anything after this one. I think what we got with Obi-Wan answered a lot of questions.
Mike.
Yeah, I got headphones on. I don't know what's going on.
I hear you just fine.
You can hear me, Corey?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that what they did with Obi-Wan was good enough. I think we got a lot of questions answered. I think we saw what we need to see. I don't think they should do anything else after that.
I get you. Now, I would say I do agree with you into the fact of a little bit more.
Your audio.
They could do more with Vader in regards to, going further what he's done in between, like Obi-Wan and say Rogue One, or even going further to like before New Hope, because there's even a comic book series out, chronicling his events that has went on in between those times. And of course, you got the upcoming series with Andor, and that's based off Cassian Andor before Rogue One truly kicked off. So that could be kind of a thing. Another series I kind of wouldn't mind on the Star Wars side. I wouldn't mind seeing something involving him and Starkiller. I would like to see the Force Unleashed live action, to be honest with you.
Now, that would be pretty cool because we never really talked about Darth Vader's apprentice. Like, if you played the 2 video games, you knew that he had Starkiller as his apprentice. But if they did do something like that, that actually would not be bad. But at the same time, it's gotta be the right story. You can't just come up with some crap and be like, "Oh yeah, here's the movie," because then you're gonna lose people.
Exactly.
I think they do Starkiller. I don't know. I don't want it to be overkill because or they have to freaking away like Dan say the right story where it makes sense if you never played the games, because the people who play the video games and watch the movies are almost two different audiences. So if you bring in Star Killer, you ever set up in a way where if you never played those games, don't know the backstory, the story they do with him really makes sense. Or excuse me, if he pops up someone else's show, that would be interesting also. But giving him his own show, I'm a little shaky on. Because I only played the first game. I don't know what happened in the second game. And you'd have to make sure that, I don't have to play any of those games to get the story and what they're doing.
Your mic kind of muffled a little bit, by the way. No, I was saying your mic was kind of muffled a little bit.
Oh, okay. Now I was going to say, also in essence, you have to also explain how that, because I don't know if they explained it in the video game, how Vader had this apprentice and the Emperor not know about it.
I got you.
So they explained it in the first one. In the first, yeah, they explained it in the first one. He found Star Killer when he went to that planet and slaughtered everybody.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right, but if you haven't played the games, let's say do like a recap where he came from, like via flashbacks. If you haven't played the video game, you wouldn't know that stuff. And that's the challenge they do. They do make you give him anything.
I got you.
I played both video games. I played the first Force Unleashed, and I played the second one. I think if that's something that they do, like we said, I think the story has to be right. Because if you played the video games, you're gonna be like, okay, well, no, that's not what happened, or that's not what happened, or he didn't do this, or whatever the case may be. Make it like so nobody's never seen the games or even heard of it, so it can be new to people.
I agree.
And then also, I don't want to detract, whereas the game set up a certain continuity, and the show either retcons or doesn't do it, then the nerds get pissed off even more. It provides more of a challenge in making that show than something with Ashoka or someone else.
I got you. So another little series I wanted to pop up and talk about was the latest Marvel series, Miss Marvel. And this covers the adventures of Kamala Khan. She's basically a big-time fan of all the heroes in the MCU. And then she comes across her own little adventure in regards to becoming a hero on her own. So basically everything we saw on the show, we saw a lot of things that involve culture, that involved a lot of quirky, comical stuff, or what have you, that involved the character. What would you all's thoughts about the show overall?
I'm gonna let Dan go.
So this was like the Avenger game live action.
Okay.
I mean, because that's what happened in the Avengers game. She's a big fan of Marvel. She met all of them, and then all of a sudden, bam, she discovered the powers. So when I started watching this, I was just kind of like, okay, well, I can just go play the game and just learn everything I need to know.
Now, the game and the show is different in a lot of different ways, but far as the character and personality is exactly the same. So you love her in the game, you'll love her in the series.
For sure. And one of the things I truly dug, like I said before, is the fact of the way they, include her culture into it, and how it plays a really big part in regards to her personality. Because we have gotten that, i.e., Black Panther, and then other type of things. So, and Shang-Chi, by the way, also as well too. So I do like the fact that Marvel love to initiate and respect, other cultures who are getting involved in this universe, and that's what Stan Lee's always stood for.
Yeah, that was. Oh, go ahead.
I think the culture thing is very important. Some things I didn't know about that culture, I didn't know about partition. It handled it well, and I think Marvel does a good job of making the characters likable. Her family, her supporting cast are very likable, like her dad and her friends and whatnot, and just Kamala herself, how she interacts. And it was really just well done. and still entertaining and funny. And also, they kind of did like they're all just kids. They kind of handled the damage control at the end like something out of Stranger Things or whatever 80s thing, dealing with teenagers dealing with bad guys or whatnot, which I thought was kind of cool. It's all overall a fun show. We got to talk about elephant in the room, Chauncey. You know what we got to talk about?
Yeah, we got to talk about a couple of them elephants in the room. Now, one of the things that did pop up in this show, again, spoiler alert for anybody who did not see this, we get the first mention of the infamous M word from Marvel, mutant.
Yes,
on the show.
They never said it. Never said it. She's a mutant.
So the fact that it is mentioned, of course, it goes further and further into the fact our favorite beloved merry mutants are going to be coming into the MCU. How soon? Don't know yet, but they're coming. So the fact that this was mentioned alone tells you something.
Right. Now here's the thing.
Here's
the thing. Now, if y'all gonna do X-Men, we know that Marvel can make movies.
Oh yeah.
We've seen them. We've seen what they did with the Iron Mans and the Captain Americas and the Thors and Black Panther, which to me is like their pure resistance to me. Like you're not gonna beat Black Panther. I don't care how many movies you came out with.
There you go.
To me, Black Panther was their top Marvel movie to me. So if you're gonna do X-Men, you need to bring Black Panther energy with that.
I expect them to do no less. Actually, I expect them to do more. But my thing is this. We're going to get X-Men, but I have a suspicion. I don't think it's bad. They're going to be a little different than what we're used to.
See, that's what I don't want.
It's just going to happen because you have to look at what the past movies have done in that fandom and where those movies have gone, and they can't go that same road. You're going to get something a little old, a little something new. I mean, they already changed a lot of stuff from the lore, from the comics to the movies anyway. Not saying that you're going to get like Namor on the squad in X-Men, but don't be surprised. There'll be some slight differences from what we know and love to what they put on screen. Mm-hmm. I think some of the core basics will be there, but don't be surprised they don't do any changes. Because they've done changes already. Hell, Kamala's a mutant. In the book, she was an Inhuman.
Yeah, she's a human in the book.
Because I was going to say this too, is like, as long as they carry the essence of X-Men, I don't mind certain little changes here and there. What I will say is, though, once we get them, let's give Magneto a little bit of a slight backseat in terms of the villain. Make him still visible, but make some of these other X-Men villains, more visible. Like, if you have to give him this sense, we have to get Omega Red. I mean, Liev Schreiber, he was a good Sabretooth. If we can't get him back, let's get somebody who could be just as, great as he was when he did Sabretooth. That type of thing.
They may flip it, where Magneto was part of the team in the beginning. He left and became their adversary. Because in the books, he was part of the X-Men in the comics.
But they kind of did that same thing with First Class, though.
That's exactly what they did in First Class.
True. In essence, and they can go that route also. They've done it with First Class. But I think with MCU behind it, they may flip it a different way. But I'm spitballing. I don't know.
No, I get you. I'm
just saying they could do something a little bit different with the X-Men prior, but still have the essence of what the original comics and the cartoon is. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to wait and see because I know at Comic-Con they're going to show off the first trailer probably for X-Men '97.
Yeah. One part, kind of going back to the show, that I do dig is the fact that in terms of the overall villain, it was something different. They got, the government involved. Now, granted, we've had many other properties where the government has been the big bad and things like that, i.e. Stranger Things and stuff like that. But of course, with the group such as Damage Control Unit, they're supposed to be, the people who kind of cleans up the messes of all the Marvel heroes and stuff like that. But in this, they become the big bad adversary or whatever. So I do like that aspect because it gives like a different twist, I should say. in regards to your usual costume villain, and I'm out for revenge, or I'm out for because nobody don't like me, understand me type shit. So that's why I dug about that.
I think it's gonna be our first precursor to what wasn't the government mutant group that was hunting mutants in the comic book. What were they called?
Yeah.
I forgot their name. It escapes me right now.
Mhm.
Also, I kind of believe if damage control was split, they make a route to hunt mutants. They'll probably use Stark Tech to make Sentinels.
That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be
They're
half bad.
already using Stark Tech already now.
Right. As long as you can give us some old heads like Gyrick or Trask to be involved, because those were some heavy mofos in regards to the mutant hunting business. I think it would work out cool.
It would.
Yeah.
They're gonna use Star Trek no matter what.
Yeah, because Star Trek is basically like the overall top tech in this movie universe. That and if they can get Wakandan tech, which would be very hard to do.
Wakanda ain't happening. They'll literally march down to America like, run us our stuff or die.
Basically. You saw what the Dora Milaje did to John Walker. So you think
no jurisdiction. Everywhere. You go where we want to go. Snatch.
Basically.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So speaking of Black Panther and stuff like that, of course there's been rumblings that we can get an upcoming trailer for Black Panther 2. Now, we already saw this first glimpse of what Namor could look like. And basically, from what the pic that we saw, it showed, I forgot the actor's name is playing him, but I believe he is Spanish or Latino descent. And it seems like in regards to Namor, they're going more of this like Aztec origin type thing, which in a way ain't half bad. It's just something different that I guess we would be accustomed to as to the regular normal Namor that we all grew up with. And I think plus this is a way of them kind of differentiating him from Aquaman based off the way what we got with Aquaman. So what you all thoughts of what you've seen with the Namor piece?
I'm cool.
Isn't that the guy that was in Fast and Furious?
It might have been. I'm not sure because again,
the
I
one
forgot
when it was Charles' brother.
No, he was ideal for the role, but he never got it though.
Oh, he never
got it. Somebody totally different. It's somebody totally different. Because like I said, the actor, he's Spanish or he's I don't know the exact nationality, but like I said, they're going with more of an Aztecian type look to him or whatever. So.
Hey, if you don't know anything about Aztec Indians, their culture is really brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But they look cool when they dress up.
Right.
But yeah, they ain't play no games.
So with that indication, folks, that means you thought Namor was a mofo in the books. Prepare for him to be a mofo on the screen.
Yeah. My next question, they're gonna say he's a mutant in the new movie.
That's another thing too, because Namor is considered the first mutant introduced to Marvel.
Yeah. Hopefully they say he is a mutant.
Mm.
Don't do no crazy stuff.
I mean, I trust them to make good decisions. What's best for the film, what works. They haven't let me down yet, so I'm just gonna wait and see what they do.
I get you.
Oh, one thing we forgot to touch on: the end credit scene from Miss Marvel. Where did she go? Did she traded places with Carol?
Yeah, that's another part. Because one thing that I did catch too, where when she mentioned somebody who can punch something so hard and they go through different mentions, she briefly mentioned America Chavez. And, with all three of us going to see Multiverse of Madness, we know that's what she's capable of. So I don't know if maybe America had something to do with it, where she punched something and then...
Your audio, Chauncey.
Sorry about that. punch something where she opened something up and Kamala ended up falling in there and Carol got switched out, or I don't know.
I kind of think
that could be a thing too.
I don't think it's America at all. I think it's something to do with. I think her gauntlet is a band. Am I muted? I'm muted. Dan's muted.
Yeah, I can hear you, Corey. I was just muted.
No, I was saying that I think she has one part of the Omega bands, and they traded places in space.
That could be a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
We good?
We hear each other. You can't hear us?
Each other.
Uh-oh.
Technical difficulty.
All right, try now.
We can hear. Can you hear us?
Technical difficulties, folks. Hold on.
I guess we can hear each other. Maybe the stream didn't hear us. No, I was saying that she traded places with Carol in space. I believe her gauntlet is one part of the Mega Bands from Captain Marvel. I think because they put him. He put them together, becomes Captain Marvel. I think that's one of the bands. I don't know if Carol had the other, but I think they traded places in space.
That'll be interesting to see. Plus, like with, go ahead, Dan. My bad.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because especially with Monica Rambeau being involved in this upcoming Marvel's movie too, we gotta see how they all gonna play off each other. How they're gonna either like try to come together, or it's just gonna be an interesting dynamic all around in regards to because their powers obviously work differently. Even though Kamala is, mutant based or whatever like that, she's got mysticism to her powers, courtesy to the Gauntlet. Then, of course, we always know that, Carol is, extraterrestrial with her stuff, and kind of sort of the same deal with Monica, too, even though she's also dealt with, coming across the likes of Wanda and WandaVision. So it's just interesting how the whole dynamic's going to pop up and hopefully just turn out well. And by the way, Nia Nakasa, who did Candyman 2021, is directing it, so I'm definitely looking forward to see how that turns out all together.
Okay.
So Candyman 2021 wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't all. It was definitely a watch. Now, kind of going to this middle part, and this is something that we've all discussed collectively, individually. This thing about toxic fans. Because we've gotten into this space now where all of a sudden people want to whine and cry about certain little things about characters and shows and how they partake in. Dan, you and me briefly talked about it earlier about how everybody and their mom want to give Moses Ingram all the smoke or whatever like that, especially these little cowardly keyboard commandos. I ain't gonna mention their names because I don't want YouTube coming at me, but they know who they are. Talking about, all these racial, basically racist, just talking points or whatever. And then it takes everybody from Ewan McGregor to even cast members of Star Trek coming out, swinging back, talking about, hey, back up off her. She's doing the thing.
In the mortal words of George Lopez, FTP means fuck that food. Okay. I really think that they only have a problem with people of color.
Yeah, they do.
Because if the third sister was white, they wouldn't have said anything.
Oh, no, definitely.
No, even a lot of people of color, women too.
Well, yeah women too.
They really go. Yeah, I'll say my piece about that in a minute.
I personally think that Moses Ingram did a hell of a job playing third sister.
I said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why people made a big deal out of it. She played that part, and she played that part well.
Right.
Like you said, it's these keyboard commandos who want to sit here and find and depict every little thing and say, "Oh my gosh, her sister was black. Why they do that? She don't know." I mean, all that's stupid.
Or they'll bring up some random issue talking about, oh, she acted like she never acted before. Grant, she's acted on Broadway before.
Right.
And
Broadway.
then they want to bring up all this other little goofy mess talking about, oh, she from Baltimore. Oh, she trash. Oh, she went to Yale. Oh, she trash.
First of all, she went to Yale.
Right.
None of them suckers went to Yale. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
Y'all can be making bombs in y'all parents' garage for all we know, and you tripping because she went to Yale.
Right. Just all types of goofy mess, man. And like Corey said too, it's not just so much as against people of color, but they always got this smoke towards women also. Like every other woman, character, especially if they like a superhero or something like that, is a quote unquote Mary Sue automatic. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, I have a real bone to pick with Star Wars people because I didn't like the smoke they had for Reva in the first episode.
I mean, it was
I understand criticism. I understand that, or you have issues with the character or whatnot. But in the first episode, seriously, you don't have the smoke for no other character I see you watch anything else. I've never seen so much hate for a character in any other franchise, Star Wars, beyond that, on the first episode. I can see after the first 5 or 6, you have a criticism or something to say. But on the first, no. That's some BS. Gone somewhere with that. It's obviously why you got a problem with her. Because she's a black woman. Black woman's in Star Wars. So you have no problem with a million different alien species on space. But it's a black woman in the Empire is a problem. That's a you problem.
And she's a black woman with some type of power.
Yeah, and that she gained. And I can see if, she was written poorly, but, she's written pretty cool. To me, she earned her stripes in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I am a fan. Screw that. I'm a fan. I thought she was dope.
Thanks to all
I do agree things have to be written. Characters have to be written correctly and, to me, likable. But all the smoke people have really, to me, silly and ridiculous arguments. And same thing I've had talk with Chauncey about the MCU with these random, Joe Schmoes and Yahoos and slackjaw jokers on YouTube. Every time there's a female hero doing something in the Marvel show, they call it the MCU. And I'm like, you suckers don't have an argument. They're worried that James going to take over Thor. They're going to throw Thor away and have James be Thor. And that didn't even happen.
Right.
And actually, James was pretty likable and really well-liked character to me. I think Marvel did a good job. Y'all suckers a bunch of haters. So it's not a straight white dude. You're pissed.
Those are the same dudes that never read a comic. They're just going off what they see off the movies.
It's dudes who read comics and still act like that. They're almost as worse.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, we know they're worse, but at the same time, it's female. It's going to be female hero. Just because they're not a male don't mean they can't do the job.
And you have to watch everything Marvel make. If the show's not for you, watch something else.
Yeah, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Simple as
If
that.
you're a comic reader, do you buy everything Marvel, right? No. I know I don't.
No.
Because because like the fact of the matter is, it's like not only has Moses Ingram suffered this kind of scrutiny, well, not as big as scrutiny as this that she's suffering, but we've heard stuff about like Ray Fisher, the trauma he's dealt with Joss Whedon on Justice League. We've heard about even John Boyega and Rosemary Tran about what they've had to deal with the sequel trilogy.
And I'm real mad at Star Wars fan about Rosemary Tran. There's actually blame to be on the fans and Disney how they did her character. Last night. So it's a lot of blame with that stuff.
And quiet as kept, I'm sure Billy D. Williams didn't probably dealt with some stuff back in the day. It's just hasn't been as loud.
I hear he's dealing with stuff now.
You know what? I don't think Billy
More
did
now than back in the day.
Yeah, I don't think he dealt anything back in the day because back then Billy D was too much of a star.
Yeah, because I talked to someone I know that worked for LucasArts and is aware of like fandom and the fan talk. He said even in the 80s, everyone loved Lando. These past few years, all this talk about him being a token character, SJW character, came up in these past like 4 to 5 or 6 years. And he's a white guy. He's a white guy. He said that's weird and doesn't make any sense.
How's he token character?
It's called That White Dude Don't Make No Sense. Simple as that. And
Yeah,
obviously he's
he
trying to
said the hate didn't make any sense.
right, and obviously he's trying to ride on this toxic train ride like every other one of these haters who just want to have something big and bad to say. Just be like, hey, I said something controversial and outrageous. Look at me, yay! Go to hell.
Click me.
Right.
Get these clicks, man.
Expeditiously.
There you go.
Hit the cash app.
You know what I'm saying? Hit my Venmo, y'all. Hit my Cash App. Sell me. Hook me up.
Beg your pardon.
It's called they don't want to work a real job and stuff like that. So they gotta get all outlandish and stupid and try to ruin everybody else's fun.
Pretty much.
As long as they got cats like us around, we ain't worried about them. We're gonna love what we love. Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek, sci-fi, horror, whatever. We're gonna make it do what it is.
FTP.
You heard them, folks. You heard them. FTP. There we go. But one thing I don't want to be done, courtesy of Hollywood, I want them to give Resident Evil rest. Here's why I say this.
Just talk about with somebody.
I ended up watching the first 2 episodes of this new Resident Evil on Netflix.
Okay.
It don't make a bit of sense.
You better than me. I ain't watched it. I refuse to watch it.
I haven't watched it either.
It don't make a bit of sense. Basically, this is what now. If this took place in like an alternate timeline or something like that, or it took place where something where it's like this is a character that came across some of the original characters of the game, I could rock with that. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind us, black people and other people of color being involved in this type of franchise, but make it make sense. Damn.
Why is Wesker a black man?
And I like Lance Reddick. That's the best up part. I've liked Lance Reddick since Wire, John Wick. It's like, why make him Wesker?
Yeah, Dan, they made Wesker a black man. Why? I didn't ask for it.
So wait.
Wesker's a black man. I'm not making this up.
The dude who was in The Wire is Wesker?
Yeah, Lance Reddick. My man from the Continental, from John Wick. Yeah, he's Wesker.
Okay. Did you guys watch that Infinite Darkness that was on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Infinite Darkness actually had Leon in it.
Okay.
And that one was actually pretty cool. I think it was on like 4 episodes of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty good. So I think if you're going to do Resident Evil like that, don't do what the movies did and totally go totally from the video game and lose everybody. If you're gonna do Resident Evil like that, make them animated movies.
Keep them CGI animated.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
Okay, but a live action, I've been done with Resident Evil.
Yeah, because I mean,
can't anymore.
The first Resident Evil movie that came out, as a person who's played all those damn games, I was like, who in the hell is Alice?
Right.
They made it up for the movie.
And I'm like, okay, so if this is the first Resident Evil, I was like, where's Wesker? Where's Jill? Where's Chris?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for those guys. And then as the movies went on, they introduced those people, but it was goofy.
Yeah, it looked like some bad cosplay.
Yeah, like you had Wesker. You finally showed Wesker. And I was kind of like, all right, well, let's see what he's doing. I was like, hell no. They didn't show that. Huh?
You know what my thing is?
What?
The biggest wrong for these movies. And you played the games, Dan, you can attest to this. Anybody that gets a T virus, you turn to a monster. There's no you become Alice,
superhuman, Matrix,
superhuman,
type
best
jump.
man humanity's ever
Right.
seen. You just happen to have the right genes for this. No. You get the T virus, you're turned.
You a monster.
You're not cured. That's it.
No.
That's it. No, there's no coming back.
No, it's not. Like if you,
and that grinds my gears.
you gonna make a Resident Evil movie, go off, make them animated.
Simple as that. And I hate to take the words of Corey Coleman from Double Toaster, but he said it best. This was nothing but the CW getting their hands on Resident Evil, turning into some type of teeny bop action adventure horror sci-fi joint, add in a couple of semi-familiar faces, and we're gonna make it do what it do from there. No,
That's dumb. It's
Resident Evil is not one of
Resident
them.
Evil's going to almost a Terminator problem route. It's just too many bad movies. People, to me, to anyone to care about, they keep making so many bad movies and films and TV shows. If they even were to remotely try to do it right, they've tainted the brands with so much bad stuff. But anyone caring anymore, spending the money to do it the right way.
Well, you know, the Terminator movies were bad when Arnold wasn't in them.
It doesn't matter. The brand was so tainted with so many bad movies. When the last one came out, the movie should have came out probably 15 years ago or 10 years ago to be any effective. The brand is diluted by so many bad movies. And then you didn't get a brand new audience. You didn't get any new fans to get new blood to get into it. And to recycle the same, they would keep recycling the same or similar plot points or plot devices in every film. And just like that franchise just needed to die.
Yeah. One thing, I know this is probably a little bit off subject, since we mentioned Terminator, but the one thing I'm waiting for Arnold to do is King Conan.
I'm still waiting on that also. I mean, he still could
Wasn't
do
there
it.
a toss him doing something like that recently?
Now, at some point, I thought they were going to. He said that he was looking into doing the role again.
Right.
But you know, like I'm looking for the Conan that was at the end of the first Conan the Barbarian, when he was old, sitting on the throne, old man. When he was that Conan, and then even in the second one, when he was like, "Someday I have my own kingdom." Like, low key, I'm still kind of waiting for that. But you know,
Agree. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, Hollywood just need to give Resident Evil a rest. I mean, I totally dodged Welcome to Raccoon City, so I definitely refused to watch that because I seen the trailer alone. I was like, no.
I'm telling you, if you guys are gonna watch Resident Evil, watch the Infinite Darkness one. That one was actually pretty good.
No,
like I said,
and just play the games.
Or just play the games. Now,
Infinite
Darkness was really, like I said, it actually had Leon in there, and it was a familiar thing. It was the zombies that Leon dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, if anybody ever played Resident Evil, you know Chris started out with the zombies,
right?
But in the second movie, in the second game, when they introduced Leon and the incident in Raccoon City, he took over the zombies and what's the ones? Las Plagas.
His first mission, his first day on the job.
Mm-hmm.
First day on the job, he had to deal with Raccoon City. And in the fourth one, he did Las Plagas when he was over there in Spain.
Right.
Say the president's daughter.
Yeah, to say the president's daughter. So Leon is dealing with those and Into the Darkness.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like I said, it's only about 4 episodes, but it was pretty good.
Okay. I'll check it out then.
I'll check it out.
Now, something else that kind of popped up recently, like a couple of days ago, that was kind of interesting, but it's kind of weird too. The same thing is that of the CW Arrowverse. Now, of course, it's been around for quite some time. Some people like it, some people don't. I've got my ups and downs with it, but I think the one show that really kind of made its staying power, surprisingly, was Superman Lois, because of how well crafted it's done. The acting is actually good. This is actually one of the better interpretations of Superman that I've seen in quite a while since what we've gotten in movies. And then now, due to this, I think, thanks to, I think it's merger. Who was the merger that bought CW? Okay, Discovery.
Discovery bought Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Discovery bought Warner Brothers, but I think somebody bought CW separately also, if I'm not mistaken.
If so, I don't know.
Yeah, I think somebody, and as a result of this, pretty much the Arrowverse is getting 86 for the most part. And then they're gonna probably reboot the whole deal with Superman Lois. Instead of calling it the Arrowverse now, it's gonna be referred to as the Superverse. And this is gonna leave room for, other DC characters to get their shine, stuff like that. And I guess
Like who?
disassociate yourself.
Oh, there's tons of characters.
Oh yeah, there's tons of
I don't know
characters.
about
Like for right now, I know they got Stargirl still involved, so that's one thing. I know Arrow pretty much been done for some years, so that was kind of the first sign right there. Surprisingly, Flash is still on, but they got like 1 or 2 more seasons left. Even though the Star,
I think it's 1 more season left.
Okay.
Shorter than the last season.
Even though it's gotten to a point now where the own stars, you really don't want too much to do with the show. That's why you got him and the leading lady filming separate scenes together.
It's time for the show to end, man.
Yeah, man. It's like, and then of course, even with the whole Ezra Miller drama that's happening for the big screen Flash, it's kind of put like a bad omen on the character almost.
Which is
drugs are bad, okay?
Basically,
it's more than something wrong with that boy. I don't know.
Nah, man. Well, he got some of that grade A something because he is off his damn rocker.
It's got to be more than that, man. The stuff he doing. Then it just sucks because it's hurting the movie. And
maybe he having a Shia LaBeouf moment. Huh? Maybe he having a Shia LaBeouf moment.
Bro, I think it's worse than Shia LaBeouf. It's worse than Shia. Because at least with Shia, he walked away and he keeping low key for right now until he good and ready to do something again. This dude, he been running rampant left and right, just doing random crazy stuff. Ain't nobody put no cuffs on him yet.
He white.
And it's kind of hurting the movie. And some fans are talking. One of my YouTubers I follow, she was saying she's probably not going to see it. Now I think that kind of sucks because the movie's done, it's cut, it's in the editing phase, the money's spent. I'm still going to see it. I think a lot of people still. I just want to see the Flash, but some people are going to be like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to support Ezra Miller. But it's sad that all these folks got to lose their money after all this hard work because of one person who can't get their act right.
And especially when you have both Keaton and Affleck involved as Batman. Come on, man.
Look, I don't want to hear this bullshit about, oh my God, I don't want to support him because you some bitches still fucking support R. Kelly. If I had a fight right now.
No lies told. No lies told.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I'm shooting shots, people, but I don't give a shit. If y'all can still fucking support that bastard, look over what other people do and just fucking go watch the movie. Shut the fuck up. So Wilson, if you get canceled now, I'll take the point. It's my fault.
Hey, I got other avenues I can get to, so hey, no thing. Right. Hey, like me told, brother.
I'm just saying, like, I hate it when people have that double standard. Oh my God, I'm not going to support this person because of X, Y, Z. My personal gripe with stuff like this is Bill Cosby. Now, when all this stuff came out with Bill Cosby, people was dropping him left and right. Oh my God, y'all need to separate him from being Heath Huxtable. Okay, so if y'all want people to do that, and y'all dropped him like that, why can't y'all do the same for R. Kelly? Y'all keep saying, oh, well, R. Kelly the man is different from R. Kelly the musician. No, he ain't.
No,
it's the same person.
Same person. Kind of same deal with somebody like Charlie Sheen. It's like
no. What that double standard is something that really needs to be addressed. Now, you're gonna sit here and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna support Ezra Miller. I'm not gonna support the Flash movie because of what Ezra Miller is doing." Okay, fine, but at the same time, those are probably the same people who still listen to R. Kelly.
Probably so.
I'm sorry. I can't do the double standard like that. If you want to separate the two, I don't see how you can, because it's the same person. You
No,
know,
I get what you're saying on that.
if you're gonna do for one, do for all. Don't pick and choose who you're doing.
And some people do that. I'm still going to see the Flash regardless. Like, yeah, I know what Ezra's doing, but I still want to at least watch the movie, support the movie. A lot of money spent, a lot of people worked on this. It just sucks that because of one person's crazy actions, that some people are not going to see to support the film. The film can lose money because of one person. I'm not
Exactly.
The film is amazing. So I don't know how split fans are on with that. That's just where I'm at. I still want to see the movie regardless. I have to wait and see what they do. I just don't want the movie to suffer. I really don't. I still want the film to come to theaters. I do not want to come to HBO Max direct. So I don't know.
Now that's probably what they'll do.
It loses too much money. There's a lot of money spent making this film. I still want it to come to theaters. If it comes to HBO Max early, fine, but I still want it to come to theaters first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be another one of those waiting to see movies right there, as far as that goes.
There's not even gonna be a Comic-Con this year, obviously.
Well, there you have it. So looks like that's one thing that's gonna be off the C2E2 list this year. I don't know. I mean, I wanted to do well itself. I mean, especially with both Keaton and Affleck involved, both of them playing their renditions of Batman to add.
Come on.
Right. It's like, I don't know. We'll wait and see what the hell happens. But yeah, pretty much Arrowverse is knocking on death's doorknob as we speak, and we're gonna get this Superverse. And hopefully they keep writing Superman Lois as well as they do. We can see what they do for upcoming characters and stuff like that.
It's a really good show. Anyone has not watched Superman and Lois, please give it a shot. The first season is on HBO Max.
I watched it.
It's a pretty good show. Yeah.
Up until this one, the only other Superman that I liked that I watched hardcore was Smallville.
Right.
So, because then after that, it kind of Superman. It's one is good, one is bad. Like Smallville was great, and then they did Superman Returns, and that sucks. And then they did Man of Steel.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
Man of Steel I thought was dope. I think Superman Returns is a underrated gem. I think if you go back and watch it now, you may feel different.
Okay, I could try it.
I put it like this. Brandon Routh did his thing as Superman and Clark Kent. I think it was just the overall environment of the movie itself. Because they tried to make it too much. They tried to make it too much of a nostalgic love letter to the previous two movies.
Yeah,
which is
Go ahead, Corey.
No argument there. Because to be honest, in Superman and Lois, that actor, I didn't like him. He was in Supergirl, and I didn't like him at all. Like Chauncey can tell you, I couldn't stand him at first. They got a better writing team, Superman and Lois. Nah, I love them to death.
Oh yeah, and I love the fact that this isn't your same old cookie cutter Clark Kent that we used to from over years. This is a Clark Kent that's modernized. He's basically somebody that will not only put the foot down, but it'll tell, especially when it comes to the sons, it's like, listen, you ain't finna do this. I don't care how mad you are. I don't care who you're in love with. If I tell you not to do something or say something, do that. Because I ain't got time and energy for all this.
And I feel like the previous extended cut touched on that, how Clark is, how he can be, he's not Superman, how he kind of goes hard on the paper with certain stuff, but it got cut from the original movie.
Yeah, well, we got this show, and we'll see how it goes with that. But again, as long as the writing stays strong like it does, I think it'll be around for quite some time. And I certainly hope so.
Yeah, me too.
Well, last but not least, brothers, let's talk about this nice little movie called Thor: Love and Thunder. Give our initial thoughts and feelings about it overall. I will start off with you, Mr. Green, because you and myself and the Fly Nerd crew, shout out to them. We all checked it out, see how it was. What was your initial thoughts on how they did the movie?
Overall, I thought it was a fun film. I know it's not for everyone. My only negatives about it is it has the Marvel villain problem again.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, I didn't mind the jokes, but if people had a problem with the jokes, I can understand. Although, however, I feel like the way they approach it is the jokes are a layer to kind of buffer Thor's actual inner pain and what he deals with. And he kind of hides behind that by being joking. Because, like in Thor Ragnarok, Thor lost everything. He lost everything. Spoiler alert for this film, he loses Jane. But gains a little girl to take care of.
Right.
I kind of think he has a certain story arc. I don't know if some people pay attention to that. So, even the director said he didn't want to do this muscle-bound Thor beating up people. He wanted something different, even for Thor that people don't like. Just kind of, show more depth to the character, and then just being the powerful dude and knocking out people. So, but in essence, I really enjoyed the film. It was a lot of fun. I'd go see it again. And I do know a few other, someone's a negative somewhat, but I did hear they cut certain stuff out the film as a studio mandate to keep it under a certain running time. But we'll see it with that stuff. It comes out on Blu-ray or DVD or whatnot, what those shots look like. It makes the film better or worse. But overall, I think it's a fun film. Not the greatest one, but it's a fun film. I still like Ragnarok a little bit more.
I got you. All right, Mr. Weeks, what's your thoughts on?
It's kind of the same. It was more funny than action. I mean, it had its parts, stuff like that. But if you're looking for Thor to beat up people and all that stuff, this is the one for you.
Okay.
It's really not that type of movie. Do I think they need prior to make a Thor like that so people can see, hey, Thor really still is a badass? Yeah. But right now, you need to if you're waiting for Thor to beat somebody up and be the muscle bound Thor Odinson that you used to, don't go see it.
And to be fair, I still say they made Thor serious. People didn't like him. That was Thor the Dark World.
Right, and that's my point. Like, you need Thor to be serious because in the comic books, he's not goofy at all.
Right.
He can be.
He can be.
Yeah.
He can be, but genuinely he's not.
Since Thor 1.
But also keep this in mind too, fellas. In the first couple of movies, we did get a semi-serious Thor with a hint of humor. Then, when it got to the Avengers movies, he has moments where he was more serious, but then he still had that hint of humor also. It's then when we got to Ragnarok and Taika Waititi, that's when we started getting more humorous, fun-loving Thor. But then when you revert back to something like, say, Infinity War Endgame, you got serious Thor, because especially between Ragnarok and Infinity War, he truly lost everything. He lost Asgard. He lost father, lost his mother, lost Loki 3 times. So, I mean, Thor's gonna have his different avenues, but like I get what you're saying with, the whole thing of the humor, masking the pain and the hurt and all that too. I get that too. And I think that in the sense of this all, I think a lot of people are expecting similar imagery to Ragnarok, but it didn't turn out to be that way. I mean, it's still kind of a watchable movie for the most part. I mean, it does still have its fun quips here and there. But like you guys said, if you're expecting a certain rendition of Thor, you may or may not like it. Now, one thing I will say that I feel like was a great missed opportunity, and just kind of piggybacks on Corey, what you were saying about the whole villain problem. With Gore the God Butcher, if you're going to make a character like Gore the God Butcher, and if you're going to give it to a role such as a man with the caliber of a Christian Bale, he needs to be a little bit more imposing than what he was in that movie.
And that's the funny part. They cut some of the warrior scenes.
Another missed opportunity It would have been cool if Gore the God Butcher could have came across some of those other gods alongside, say, like Zeus. Because for movie fans, all remember Christian Bale and Russell Crowe worked together before. They did 310 to Yuma together, and that was actually
Yeah.
a pretty good western.
Mhm.
So to have two actors of that caliber to bounce off of each other on some dramatic type stuff, that would have been freaking amazing. It would have
It
set
would
the
have been.
tone and the stakes higher. But again, it was a missed opportunity. Then again, it might have been part of that cutting room floor stuff. Who knows? But in my opinion, that was a greatly missed opportunity, especially have two actors of that caliber in that movie. And you didn't do much of none of it. Now, as far as the Russell Crowe Zeus thing, I didn't have minded because basically that was like his callback to, like, if y'all remember the awfully bad Hercules movies with Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
Those was actually made, even though they was actually supposed to be made in Greece, but you had like Italian voiceovers and stuff like that. That's what Russell Crowe was trying to do, come to find out. So that's why he had the whole crazy Greek accent and stuff like that. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I thought he was hilarious. Yeah, I was thinking, if you like Ragnarok, you're going to probably like this movie. If you not like Ragnarok, it's a little bit more the same. You're not feeling like this. This was an change if you didn't like Ragnarok.
And Ragnarok wasn't bad.
No, Ragnarok wasn't bad at all. I like
Ragnarok was actually pretty good. It was actually really.
I think it's the best one.
It actually
Thor movie.
because I prefer the more serious Thor. To me, Dark World was my favorite.
Okay.
That's around my second, but sadly, a lot of people didn't like it. I don't understand.
And I don't get it either. The Dark World is more of my favorite because you see Thor being Thor. Like, hey, look, I'm the god of thunder. I got this hammer. I'm about to be that.
Right.
Ragnarok, on the other hand, was funny. He was still Thor. I don't necessarily have his hammer. I can still beat ass, but I got to throw some jokes in every now and then.
Right.
This one was a little bit more of a, like Corey said, hey, look, y'all want me to be Thor, and hell, I lost everything. The hell I'm going to be Thor with? I don't have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be funny.
Yeah. And like I said, he's been funny. If you really pay attention, he's been funny since the first one. Films, he's been like even in Age of Ultron and other stuff. He's been funny. I think it depends on really. I don't think the film was bad. I think the film was good. You have a lot of mixed reactions. I talked to a lot of different friends, have a lot of different reactions. Even when we went to go see with our friends and Fly Nerd, a lot of different reactions. One of my friends is a little more cynical. He loved it and gave it the full price, which I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Thor fan from the comic. So I don't think there's no one definitive answer. It just depends on what your taste is. It's how you feel about the film.
Now, for another piece of spoiler, actually, based off what we've seen, how do you think it could play out with Thor going against Hercules?
They're going to fight in the beginning and become best buddies.
Like that would be crazy.
That's what's going to happen. Whatever happened in the comic book.
This is true.
Yeah. So you think Valhalla will play a major part in it also too, or how you think that will work?
I don't know. That may come in something later, something else. I've heard rumblings that what's the young lady that plays Sif? She wants to come back and do her own show. There's something I would like to see. I wouldn't mind it.
I wouldn't mind it. And she's great as Sif.
It's like a Thor spin-off of Disney Plus.
I'm game for it.
Yeah.
They need to make Beta Ray Bill. Yeah, I totally agree if they do that.
Everybody been clamoring for Beta Ray Bill.
Ever since they saw his statue in Ragnarok, everybody was asking how come they ain't done nothing about it yet.
Right.
Yeah. Although another character I forgot to mention about in the movie actually ended up, I somewhat liked her, but the movie made me like her / love, and that's Jane. They did a good job with Jane as Lady Thor.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, she was much better than I expected. after that story is really sad. And I was really impressed with how they handled it.
I dig it. Well, fellas, we about to go ahead and wrap this rendition up. I thank you for your time and energy. I want to tell the wonderful people who are watching to check you out where and get your brutally honest opinions on everything and anything that we talked about and then some. Tell them where they can find you.
I'm on Twitter at CG_SonicBoom. You also catch me on Instagram with Green Lantern 99 and the same name on Twitch. So get some gaming action in and see what I do on the gaming side, fighting games and adventures. I also stream on Twitch and sometimes here on YouTube and do Kung Fu Hustle 99. So again, Twitter, CG_SonicBoom, and Instagram and Twitch, Green Lantern with me 99.
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram, DMeeks81. On Twitter, I'm DrummerBoy81. And on Facebook, I'm my regular name. So I make jokes, part-time haberdashery, all types of stuff. Just go ahead.
FTP people, FTP.
Part-time haberdashery people.
Especially for all you cowardly keyboard commandos, FTP.
Yeah, exactly how I feel, FTP.
But anyhow, thank you all for your time and energy, brothers. Thank you for everybody who watched us tonight, talk all this stuff. And we're going to catch you on the next one. Until then, 2 fingers salute.
Peace.